One of the major issues with a car with a spare wheel on the back is always getting a bike rack on it. Now most tow bars stick out behind the car, just behind the bumper, and you can put a bike rack straight on and the bikes fit up against it. But the problem with the spare wheels, and especially on the INEOS Grenadier like this, is trying to get the bike rack on. Now there's a few companies that make adapters, which means that this secure bar here that holds the top of the bike braces in place is curved, but you lose the innermost bike rack. So it comes from a 3 bike just to a 2 bike rack. And like me, if you've got 3 bikes and the family want to go out cycling, there's a few adaptations you're going to have to make. So I'll talk you through what I've done. I'll get the bikes off, the bike rack off, and I'll show you what I've done, and then what my suggestion was to solve this problem. Before I do that, I'm just going to show you quickly in here. As you can see, this top bar here, the brace bar, is just clear of the spare wheel. I'll bring that over the top here. You can see it's just clear of that spare wheel. So there's nothing rubbing on that at all. There's nothing rubbing on the frames. And everything is clear of the car completely. So it's worked really, really well. I'm very pleased with it, but it's taken a little bit of work to get it there. And I'll tell you what I've done. So as you can see, when the rack is down, I can access the rear door. Obviously with the INEOS, I've got the split rear door. I can get the small one fully open and the large one opens most of the way so that I can get access to anything I want in the back. When I close the doors, I just have to shut them up, and then all I have to do is go around and lift the rack up again, and that will be back up to its normal position. So you can still see, even with the rack on, I've still got access to the rear door, which is really important. Now with the bikes taken off, you get a slightly better view of what the rack looks like. So this is the standard Thule 3-car bike rack. This is one that you can pick up anywhere. Halfords do a similar one as well. But the main thing is that at the back you have this brace bar which sticks vertically up. Now this has always been the problem. If the tow bar is attached to the back of the car, there is no room for this vertical brace. And you need this brace for these clips here which hold onto the frame when the bikes are upright. So to get rid of this brace means you're going to lose your first rack on the bike rack. So you're only going to end up with 2 out of a 3, or if you've got a 4 you end up with 3. So you're losing a space, which is not really what you want to do because these racks aren't cheap and you don't want to be losing out on space. With this here in place, what I've done is, obviously on my INEOS I have the rear cubby hole in the infill for the rear tyre, spare wheel. I've taken that off only because that sticks out proud maybe an inch or so from the rear of the wheel, and I can't get this bar in there with it. It takes 3 bolts that just come out from the inside very quickly, just undoes, that comes off, and this bar here now, I've got loads of free space to move these clamps anywhere that I want around on the bar. So I can move the clamps to here and here, and it means that I can put them whatever position I need without interfering with the wheel. Loads of space behind here, which is great. So let's get the rack off and I can show you a little bit more about the tow bar and how I've done it. Okay, so now I've got the tow bar set up on the back of the vehicle. I've got the bike rack off. Let's have a look and I can show you a little bit more about it. So this section here, this is a square section that I got as an extender. So it's 140 millimeters from the back of the vehicle, and these bolt through obviously to the original square section where the tow bar was. Now that in itself isn't long enough, so I then had to get a secondary tow bar which is a little bit longer, and as you can see this is the one with the pin locator. So the pin locator drops down through here, and it means that the tow bar is brought out another inch or so, or another sort of 6 or 7 mil out from it. So I've got this extended out as far as I can. It needs to be this far out to clear the rear tyre. This I got from eBay. This is one of these universal joints. It's a universal tow bar, and it's got, like I say, it's got the NATO pin vertical point through here. Interestingly enough, when you do put the Thule rack on and you close the handle down to clamp down onto the ball hitch, it needs to be flush with the mounting underneath it, and when this pin is elevated up through it up here, it doesn't let the ball hitch come far enough down, so you have to take the pin out, and I just drop it through the bottom here, relocate it to get the pins, and just leave it here until I need to put it back in again. So nothing's changed apart from that. So as you can see, this now is my setup from the back of the vehicle, and it sticks out that far, which I'm not too bothered about. That's absolutely fine. It comes in line just a little bit beyond the rear tyre, as you can see there. We're talking probably about probably only about ½ an inch behind the rear tyre that it sticks out. Now that doesn't mean that the tow bar is going to be in the way when I'm doing off-roading or anything like that. It's going to increase my release angle slightly, but only if you're doing extreme stuff. And if you are going to do that, it takes no time at all just to undo these 2 bolts here and take this whole unit off. It's not really a big deal. It's just 2 bolts. They take no time at all, and that comes off if you wanted it. I'm going to leave it on there because the back rack goes on a quite regular basis. But what I think I've done there, with a little bit of effort, it means removing the rear storage unit from the back of the wheel, which is just 3 bolts that come through here, hex keys, and it takes no time at all. Take that out, and then that gives me space now to put the bar and to put any clamps I need to that come flush with the tyre. I've had it on all day, and as you can see, there's no scuffing on the wheel at all from where that tow bar has met. So as you can see, I think that's my only solution for this. Other people have told me that I need to reduce one of the bikes on the bike rack. It's a 3 becomes a 2, or a 4 becomes a 3. I don't think that's right. I think if you're buying an expensive bike rack, you want to make it work. So that's now my new solution. It keeps the car nice and tidy, doesn't load a lot of effort, and for that I can get a bike rack on the back and make sure that my INEOS now is being used for the vehicle that it's designed to be.